Who duct taped frozen fish to the ceiling of a hotel in Madison, Wisconsin? Was it these guys or this guy? Stick around. Hey everybody, John with Vynyly here, and welcome to 5 on Friday, where we talk about one album and tell you 5 things you may not know about it. The album this time, Van Halen II. Special place in my heart. First of all, look at that logo. That's possibly the greatest logo in rock and roll right there. This is the first Van Halen album I ever heard. My local library, when I was a kid, my library had records that you could take out. So, my parents would drop me off at the library thinking I was going to bring home a bunch of books, and instead I would bring home albums. I actually probably learned just as much, maybe more, from the album. So, Van Halen II, 5 on Friday, let's go. Number 1, this album was released on March 23rd, 1979. Recording at Studio 2 at Sunset Sound began roughly a week after completion of the first tour and follow-up from the first album. And recording was completed in about a week, which is just unheard of these days to record an entire album in a week. Now, most, if not all, of this material was already written by the time they went in to record it, or at least the rough versions were recorded and written. Some of them appeared on the original demos that were recorded in 1976 by Gene Simmons. So yeah, that Gene Simmons. He recorded the first Van Halen demos. It turns out the guy might have an ear for these kinds of things. Number 2, David Lee Roth hurt his foot doing this jump, pictured on the back cover. Hurt his foot after doing that jump, and in pictures afterward, including one here on the sleeve, the record sleeve, you can see that he is wearing a cast on his foot. In some other promotional photos, he's also wearing a cast. Number 3, Alex Van Halen's double bass was actually 4 bass drums, 2 welded together to create 2 big double bass drums. He used 4 bass drums welded together to make 2 big ones because he wanted the sound. He wanted it to sound like a cannon. As always, if you are interested in buying a framed copy of this album or any of the albums we talk about on this channel, head on over to vynyly.com. That's vynyly.com, and take a look at what we have over there. We do not have everything on the website, so if you're looking for something in particular, drop us a line, and I'll try to find it for you. We've got a lot of stuff that's just not up on the website yet, so reach out, let me know what you're looking for. Number 4, Eddie's original Bumblebee guitar, pictured here on the sleeve, is now buried with Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. Darrell had once said it was his favorite guitar. The Bumblebee was his favorite guitar of Eddie's, and so when he passed away, Eddie sent the guitar to be included, to be buried with Dimebag Darrell. Now, both Dimebag and his brother Vinny Paul were both buried in Kiss caskets. Yeah, that's right. Kiss, you can buy a Kiss casket. Masters of marketing, these guys are. So both Dimebag Darrell and his brother Vinny are both buried in Kiss caskets. Number 5, in the liner notes for Van Halen II, the band thanks the Sheraton Inn in Madison, Wisconsin, specifically the 7th floor. And it turns out that during their first tour, the tour for the first album, the band took over the entire 7th floor of the hotel and basically trashed the place. Broke TVs, overturned furniture, stole the bedding, duct taped frozen fish to the ceiling of the hotel so that as it thawed out, it would stink up the entire place. I don't know who came up with that one, but I'm going to assume it was probably Alex, because he also was going to throw a table out the window. Alex Van Halen was going to throw a table out the window, but it was Steve Perry from Journey who talked him out of doing that. At some point, the band, I hear the band tried to blame Journey for all the damage, but I think the mention in the liner notes is probably an admission of guilt. But yeah, they trashed the floor, and Steve Perry actually helped prevent it from being worse than it was. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, especially subscribing. And I will see you next time. Van Halen 2. Not Van Halen 1. Van Halen 2. This album has a special place in my heart. It's the first Van Halen album I heard, listened to, and heard, learned.